What's up, guys, gals, and gremlins, and welcome back to another episode of Atlas of the Apocalypse, the series where we dive into the toughest, wildest, and most insane maps the 7 Days to Die modding community has to offer. Today, we're exploring the Florida Undead One map by Dirkiller Gaming, a map that brings Florida to life, or at least what's left of it. With its huge 12K layout, diverse biomes, and a mix of classic and modded POIs, this map is built for exploration, danger, and, of course, survival. From one of the 3 major cities to the remote wilderness, there's something here for every kind of player. So let's get into the details, and I'll share my top 3 base locations that may make your stay in this Florida wasteland a bit more comfortable. Alright, let's kick things off with an overview of what makes Florida Undead such a standout map. First of all, the map's sheer size, 12K. This behemoth world is built using a real height map of Florida, offering an incredibly accurate recreation of the real landmass. The map includes 3 major cities, as well as 4 smaller towns scattered all across the landscape. But it's not about the cities, or in this map's case, the lack thereof. It's actually more about the dozens and dozens of wilderness POIs that are peppered all throughout, giving the map that once bustling, now dead vibe. It really encourages exploration, careful preparation before venturing out on long treks, and conscious decision making as you navigate from one biome to the next. Dirkiller's version 1.0 update brings a lot to the table with revamped terrain, new roads, and improvements to the biome that make it even more immersive. The seamless transitions from one biome to another make for a dynamic gameplay experience that keeps you engaged as you travel across different terrains. Whether it's flatlands, mountains, or the oceanfront views that make this map so memorable. One of the standout elements of the Florida Undead map is the biome variety. While it does feature a fairly small and pretty hard to reach wasteland biome located to the far northwest, it more than makes up for it with lush forests, coastal plains, desert, and snowy mountain ranges. The smooth transitions between biomes creates an immersive environment where you never quite know what to expect next. One minute you're in a dense forest, and the next you're dealing with the stark, harsh environment of the desert. Florida Undead nails the balance between urban and wilderness POIs. The major cities are bustling with loot and danger, while the surrounding wilderness and smaller towns feel eerie and full of atmosphere. Wilderness POIs in particular really push the entire exploration aspect of this map. It's perfect for players who like to venture out into the unknown and see what they can find. And what's an apocalypse without some secret loot? Florida Undead hides some really interesting loot chests in some areas that obviously aren't marked on the map, but are also very well off the beaten path. These hidden gems make the map feel more of a treasure hunt sometimes. And there's nothing like stumbling across a stash of goodies in a place where you least expected it. Makes the journey that much more rewarding. Now, if you're thinking about settling down somewhere on the Florida Undead map, let's talk about some of the best base locations I've picked out for you guys. These spots offer great defensive potential, resource access, and, of course, are perfect for holding out when the hordes come a-knocking. Alright, so coming in at number 3 we have the New Life Hope Cabin. Located in the central southern portion of the map, this wilderness POI is actually one of my personal favorite POIs across all of them in 7 Days to Die. It has great pre-made security, a decent-sized garden for those of you with green thumbs, and separate storage and workshop areas so you can keep your resources and workstations safe from your main horde base. It's also got a solid defensive setup and plenty of space to expand. Plus, the surrounding flatland does make it super easy to set up and makes this a stellar early game base. As for the major downsides here, it's pretty isolated. There's minimal natural defense from the hordes here. The lack of nearby biomes means you'll need to venture pretty far out for supplies, so if you want to expand, you'll need to be extra strategic with your base defenses. Alright, coming in at number 2 we have the Navezgane Truck Stop and Diner. This POI is located slightly to the north and offers a ton of space and protection. The diner's large main building provides tons of upgrade opportunities, and the detached shed is perfect for storage and workstations. There's also a large parking lot area with tons of cars and loot to dismantle for resources. Plus, you are in close proximity to a couple other of the game's biomes, making this a great mid-tier base with plenty of potential. Major downsides here: it is a bit tricky to get to in the early game, so don't expect to just rush in right away. Also, though we are in the snow biome, and we do have a couple of different biomes nearby, namely the forest and the burnt forest, remember the desert and the wastelands are still a decent distance away, so make sure to get ready for a trek before you head out adventuring in that direction. Coming in at number 1, my top pick is going to be the Spire at Cape Canaveral. This location has it all: a pre-built horde tower made of concrete and metal spikes, flat parking area, and strategic positioning surrounded by water. You've got room to build and expand, and you can even set up choke points or use the terrain to your advantage. Plus, it's not far from one of the major cities, so you won't be lacking in resources. Major downsides here: while this place is well defended, the only biome nearby here is going to be the snowy biome to the west. The desert is a decent trek to the south, and the burnt forest and wasteland biomes are miles off. This POI's isolation also means that you're going to be cut off from the rest of the main landmass, so if things do get bad and you get overrun here, there's not a lot of places for you to go, so you'll need to prepare for that as you build out your base. Florida Undead One by Dirkiller Gaming is a true survivor's map. With its massive size, detailed POIs, and immersive biomes, it offers something for everyone. Whether you're into city life or the quiet wilderness, this map's got you covered. Plus, with my top base picks, you'll have a solid foundation to make your stand in the apocalypse. Well guys, that's going to do it for today's adventure. If you enjoyed this dive into the Florida Undead One map, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button to keep up with the latest and greatest Atlas of the Apocalypse content. Also, make sure to join me over on Discord and check out my socials linked in the description for updates on everything Grimm. Until next time guys, remember to stay badass to each other, stay great, stay gamers, and as always, stay Grimm.